Welcome, NBI. Welcome to this space, a place where awakened souls meet in the light. If you're hearing this voice tonight, know that it's not by accident. The universe always has a reason. When two energies cross paths, there are moments in life when you feel something shifting. You can't tell if it's in your heart or in the air around you. A fleeting intuition, a quiet unease, as if someone from a deeper realm is trying to warn you about something that matters. Aries, what you're about to hear isn't just words. It's a message meant for you, arriving exactly when your soul is ready to receive it. Because sometimes, before the light appears, the universe needs us to pause and listen to the gentle knocking of destiny, drawing near. Before every storm, the sky always changes its color. Before a door closes, the soul can hear a soft knock from the universe. And tonight, Aries, that sound is meant for you. Imagine yourself sitting in a small, quiet room. The afternoon light resting gently on your hands. No noise from the world outside, only your heartbeat, blending with a slow, steady breath. Then, a feeling rises, faint, fragile, like a breeze at dawn, like mist before sunrise, but so real it makes your chest tighten. Something is shifting. Someone has stepped too close to your space. A smile, a tone, a gaze carrying a shadow your heart has not yet seen. The universe never sends a warning to scare you, and God never whispers to make you afraid. Every signal that reaches you is an act of protection. Sometimes, losing someone isn't tragedy. It's how the universe pulls you away from a quiet fire, one that would have burned down the peace you worked so hard to build. That man once made you smile. He made you believe the storms were finally over. But not every smile holds light. Some are woven from loneliness, from hidden intent. Only the soul can see that, and your soul, Aries, already knew. You just weren't ready to believe it. God is sending you a sign, not through thunder or miracles, but through the smallest details you thought meant nothing. A silence that lasted too long in a conversation. A promise that sounded sweet, but left an emptiness behind. A glance that suddenly turned cold. That's when heaven whispered, "Stop here. Don't take another step. I'm pulling you back from a place that isn't meant for you." You may ask, why me? I didn't do anything wrong, but the purest souls often draw in those who have not yet healed, and those unhealed hearts, without even knowing it, hurt others just to feel they still have control. God knows this. He sees what you cannot see, and He is trying to save you from a sweet kind of manipulation disguised as love. Aries, you were never meant to live inside someone else's story. You were born to write your own, the brightest chapter of it. So if life takes someone away from you today, don't see it as punishment. It's rescue. Some people are sent to love you. Some are sent to awaken you. Loss, sometimes, is a gift wrapped in the paper of pain. And when you are brave enough to open it, you'll find something sacred: freedom. Nothing is random. You didn't stumble on this message by chance. Heaven arranged this very moment, the moment your soul became ready to hear the truth. And that truth didn't come to make you tremble, but to help you rise, to help you walk away from what no longer deserves your light. God doesn't want you to fear love. He wants you to recognize who truly deserves your love. Real love shouldn't make you doubt your own intuition. It shouldn't make you anxious each time you smile. Love should be where your heart rests, where your spirit feels safe. So whatever leaves you now isn't loss, it's cleansing. It's making room for your light to reach farther, shine stronger. And when the eyes of your soul finally open, you'll realize the universe has always been speaking to you, not through thunder, but through the softest wind, not through storms, but through the ripples of still water. Heaven has always been speaking. You just hadn't learned to listen deeply enough. And when you do, when you finally listen, you'll understand. Every intuition, every restless night, every uneasy silence was God whispering within your heart, quietly pulling you away from unworthy hands and guiding you back to your own light. Take a deep breath, Aries. Let your mind be still, because what comes next is not an ending but the beginning of clarity, a truth that has been waiting, hidden in the smallest signs you once overlooked. One morning, you wake up, and everything seems the same, but somewhere deep in your chest, something feels slightly off. The sunlight outside your window is still golden, just like every other day, but your soul feels heavier, somehow quieter. There's a whisper, faint and distant, like the wind calling your name. It says, something isn't right. You try to brush it off, tell yourself you're being too sensitive, that everyone changes, that maybe it's just in your head. But, Aries, the soul always knows before the heart does. Your intuition has never been wrong. It is the ancient wisdom that God placed inside you, so you would never lose your way. But years of love and trust can make us forget how to listen to it. We choose to believe the promises, the eyes, the gentle gestures, instead of that trembling voice within us that dares to speak the truth. You remember, don't you? Those moments when he looked at you, but not through you. His gaze drifted away only for a second, yet it was enough to make you feel something missing. The conversations that ended too abruptly, the silence that fell between you two, not peaceful, but empty. The words that sounded warm, yet carried a chill behind them. You felt it all. You heard those signals, and you just weren't ready to name them. People say intuition is weakness, but it isn't. It's the intelligence of the soul. An awakened soul doesn't see with the eyes. It feels through energy. You weren't paranoid. You weren't overreacting. You weren't crazy. You were simply awakening, a little earlier than others. Truth doesn't always come with thunder. Sometimes it hides in the smallest details, a hand that lingers a little too long before letting go, a message that arrives later than usual, a hug that feels lighter, as if the warmth is gone. Tiny things, but your spirit, pure and perceptive, noticed them all. Aries, you were born under the flame of Mars, fierce but deeply intuitive. You read the lines others never write. You sense the pulse of energy. You know when someone has already left you in their heart. And even when you try to deny it, the universe keeps sending signs again and again, whispering, don't ignore this call. It's trying to save you. Maybe you've wondered, why do I always feel uneasy, afraid, even without proof? But that's not fear, that's your soul's compass, pointing you toward truth. We live in a world that worships logic and proof, but the most sacred things, love, trust, safety, can never be proven by reason. They can only be felt. When you silence your intuition, you turn off the only light that can guide you through the dark. When you believe the words that your heart disagrees with, you turn your back on your own spirit. And when the hurt finally comes, we all say the same thing, if only I had trusted myself. So hear me, Aries. You were never crazy for feeling uneasy. You were awakening. Not everyone has the courage to listen to their own soul. Most people choose the comfort of illusion because truth can be terrifying. But you were chosen to see what others can't see, to learn how to tell light from shadow, not with your eyes, but with your energy. And there's beauty in that journey, the beauty of someone growing in the light of awareness, because awareness is the beginning of freedom. When you finally trust that your soul never lies, you start walking out of every connection that once blinded you. You stop needing others to tell you your worth. You begin to realize that real safety comes from within, not from someone's promises. So take a minute just to be still. Listen to your breath, your heartbeat, the quiet between your thoughts. In that silence, you'll hear what you've always known. The truth has been calling your name all along. And as your heart slowly opens, you'll see it clearly that unease you tried to silence was never fear. It was the first signal of something deeper, a meeting of two very different energies, preparing to collide, light and shadow, truth and illusion. You and him. When light enters a dark room, the shadows don't vanish right away. They shrink, they twist, they cling to the corners of old walls, refusing to let go of what they've always known. And that, Aries, is exactly what's happening in your life right now. A quiet, invisible collision between two forces, one of light and one of shadow. That man, perhaps he wasn't entirely bad. He too, once loved, once hurt, once dreamed of peace. But somewhere deep in his heart, there remains an unhealed darkness, a place where fear hides, where pride wears the mask of tenderness, where love is distorted into control. He doesn't realize what he's doing, how he's testing your faith, how he's trying to measure the depth of your trust, how his unhealed wounds make him seek power over what he doesn't understand. And then, he met you in Aries, fiery and honest, carrying the light of courage and truth. Your energy was too pure, too strong, too real. It illuminated the darkest corners of his soul. And when light touches shadow, a clash is inevitable. You weren't betrayed because you were weak. You were betrayed because your light exposed his shadow. He couldn't stand being seen fully, clearly, truthfully. Because light doesn't judge, but it makes pretending impossible. Aries, you are the mirror. When people look into your light, they see their truest selves. And not everyone is ready for that kind of honesty. Some will turn away. Some will close their eyes. Some will even break the mirror just to avoid seeing what they've become. So don't resent him. Don't ask why he couldn't love you the way you loved him. Sometimes, people cannot love the light, while they still love their own darkness. Look closer, Aries. Every heartbreak wasn't meant to destroy you, it was meant to free you. Every lie, every tear, every silent moment of pain was a sacred collision between your soul's energy and an old world collapsing around it. As your spirit draws closer to truth, false energies begin to dissolve on their own. You don't need to fight them. You don't need to prove anything. Just stand in your light and the darkness will lose its grip. There are two kinds of people in this world, those led by love and those led by fear. He was led by fear, fear of losing control, fear of not being enough, fear of being left behind. But you are led by trust, by intuition, by the hunger to live authentically. And when those two energies meet, love becomes a storm, beautiful, wild, but never meant to last. Forgive him, not because he deserves it, but because your soul deserves peace. Forgiveness doesn't mean you approve of what happened. It means you refuse to let the pain own you. You choose calm over bitterness. And in that moment, Aries, you win not against him, but against the shadow within yourself. Remember this, not everyone can handle your light. Real energy shakes those who live inside illusion. So, don't dim yourself just to make someone else comfortable. If you must shrink to be loved, that is not love. You were never meant to fit into the darkness. You were born to teach it what light looks like. And yes, sometimes that lesson costs you loneliness. But in that solitude, your spirit grows. You begin to understand that true love never asks you to become smaller. It invites you to expand. Let this clash be your cleansing fire, a baptism of the soul, where you shed the old skin of fear and rise into a clearer, stronger, freer version of yourself. Because no light matures in comfort, and no soul ever finds itself without walking through darkness first. Breathe in, Aries. Feel that light filling your body again. It was never gone, only waiting for you to reclaim it. Look back at this collision not as tragedy, but as a divine summons, proof that your spirit is ready for a higher awareness. For once you understand that even shadows carry messages, pain transforms into grace. Every betrayal, every silence, every disappointment, they all become soft winds now, guiding you closer to your center where peace lives and where a deeper lesson waits to be revealed. Because every shadow, Aries, hides a truth, one that only an awakened heart can truly understand. When a door closes, Most people stare at the empty space and believe they've lost everything. But to an awakened soul, that isn't an ending, it's a curtain lifting, revealing the lesson that had been hidden beneath. Aries, your journey was never just about love or being loved. It's always been about awareness. You came into this life to see beyond appearances, to understand that not everyone who enters your world is a blessing. Some are sent to love you, some are sent to test you, and some arrive only to teach you how to draw your own boundaries. That person may have once held your hand, spoken gently, promised to stay, but somewhere along the way, you began to disappear inside that love. You stepped back to keep the peace, stayed quiet to avoid hurting someone else, forgot your own needs just to keep them happy, and slowly, your soul dimmed, shrinking into a small, trembling flame in the wind of pain. God saw it all. He didn't step in right away because he wanted you to see it too. He let you walk through the ache, so the light of awareness could rise from within. Pain was never sent to punish you, Aries. It was sent as a mirror to awaken you, because only when you touch your limits do you discover your strength. Only when you are betrayed do you learn the true worth of honesty. Only when you lose do you learn how to hold something with gratitude. Old souls understand this. Forgiveness is not for the other person, it's for your freedom. When you forgive, you don't erase the pain. You tell the universe, I've learned this lesson. I don't need it to repeat. Forgiving doesn't make you weak. It shows that you're strong enough not to carry someone else's shadow into your future. Aries, you were born under the flame of Mars, the planet of will and courage. But some battles are won only in silence. You don't need to fight back, or prove your worth, or seek revenge. You just need to stand in your truth, and let your light do the rest. The deepest wounds were never meant to destroy you. They were sent to soften your heart, to teach you how to love without losing yourself, to remind you that faith must walk hand in hand with awareness. Sometimes, God breaks your heart, only to rebuild it with unshakable wisdom. Once you've been through it, you'll never see the world the same way again. You'll realize that every heartbreak is a divine invitation to return to yourself. Because true freedom begins the moment you stop seeing yourself as a victim. You were never abandoned. You were chosen to learn how to let go. You didn't lose. You graduated from a lesson many souls are still repeating. So thank those who hurt you for playing their part in your awakening. Thank yourself for not letting pain turn into bitterness. When your heart opens again, your old wounds stop being scars, they become lanterns, lighting the way for others still lost in the dark. That's how healers are born. Aries, from heartbreak, from forgiveness, from compassion. Now you understand. Trust isn't about giving yourself away to someone. It's believing that no matter what happens, you'll rise again. Real trust doesn't come from others. It's born from the quiet safety within your own heart. Take a deep breath. Feel the stillness of this moment. Everything you've lived through has left a piece of light inside you, and when you finally understand, forgive, and release, the universe begins to open the very door that pain once closed. Because when the soul learns its lesson, heaven returns what was delayed: love, abundance, and peace. A soft breeze moves through, carrying a fragile, gentle calm. You smile, because you know you've walked through the darkest part of your road. And ahead, where the horizon glows with new light, something beautiful is drawing near, a miracle that only those who've completed their lesson are ready to receive. One morning, you wake up and realize the world doesn't feel as heavy as it used to. The air seems clearer, and the voice inside you softer. There's no longer that sigh each time you think about what was lost. That, Aries, is the moment when peace begins to return. When you finally let go of old attachments, it's not just your heart that's freed, your whole life begins to open again. The universe moves at the frequency of your soul. When your mind is filled with pain, when your heart carries anger or fear, that energy forms invisible locks, blocking every blessing that was meant for you. But now, as you've dared to step out of the dark, as you've chosen peace over control, forgiveness over bitterness, the flow of abundance begins to move again. Money, opportunities, health, everything that once stalled is quietly being released. There's no magic here, only a simple truth. When your energy is clear, the universe can finally hear you. You once believed success came only through effort, that working harder would earn you your reward. But there are times when, no matter how much you push, everything stands still. Money flows out faster than it comes in, chances slip through your fingers, your body feels drained for no reason. It wasn't because you failed, it was because you were carrying the weight of someone else's energy. Someone who quietly took from your faith, your strength, your light. God doesn't want you to live in that emptiness anymore. He wants you to return to the natural flow where prosperity, peace, and blessings are born not from struggle, but from harmony. The moment you choose calm over chaos, abundance begins to find you again. You don't have to chase blessings, you simply need to align with them. Once your mind is no longer tangled, you start to notice what was always there, the opportunities hiding behind the fog of worry. An unexpected offer, money returned that you thought was gone, a project revived by someone who still believes in you. When your energy shifts, reality reshapes itself. Remember, Aries, money isn't just numbers, it's energy. And that energy flows to where there is gratitude, generosity, and trust. If you've ever given from the heart, helped without expecting anything back, the universe has already recorded that light. And now, it's finding its way home to you. So open your arms and receive. Don't be afraid when good things arrive. So many of us are so used to struggle that when peace comes, we doubt it. But you, Aries, you deserve it. You've walked through fire, now it's time to stand in the light. Believe this, peace and abundance aren't luxuries. They are your soul's birthright when you live in truth. Now that you've stopped running, stopped forcing, God's energy can reach you completely. His protection isn't loud or dramatic, it's in the gentle coincidences, the quiet guidance, the doors that close just in time. The small miracles start to unfold: a financial gift, a favorable contract, a chance to travel, or simply a peaceful night's sleep without fear. These are the signs that the universe is moving again through your life. When you choose peace, you choose to walk with God. And when you walk with God, nothing can take away what truly belongs to you. Now, Aries, you no longer have to fight to be seen. You no longer have to prove you're worthy. Just live honestly, stay true to your heart, and everything else will find you. Let your breath slow down. Feel the space around you opening. A living stillness begins to surround you. And in that stillness, you'll see when the mind is calm, every door opens. And from that quiet peace, a new light begins to rise. A light that will lead you to another sacred place within your heart, where peace gives birth to clarity in love. After the storm of heartbreak, after the long nights that felt endless, one morning, you open your eyes and realize you no longer want to look back. Not because you've forgotten, but because your heart has learned to love without clinging. A lightness spreads through your chest, as if someone has opened the window and let sunlight flood in after days of rain. Peace, the very thing you thought would never return, is now quietly living inside you. Aries, when your heart becomes clear, love changes its shape. It's no longer the desperate cry of rescue, no longer a promise that says, "I'll make you happy." It becomes a quiet companionship where two souls walk side by side. No pushing, no pulling, no trying to turn each other into someone else. You've known relationships that left you uncertain. They said they loved you, but beneath their words, you only felt fear. You worried with every sentence, afraid to say the wrong thing. You questioned yourself with every look, wondering if you were enough. That wasn't love, that was a trade. A silent contract written in pain. And when you believe you must suffer to be loved, the universe keeps sending people who will make you suffer again. But when you begin to believe that you deserve peaceful love, everything changes. The right person will never confuse you. They will bring calm to your heart, not chaos. True love doesn't make you doubt yourself. It reminds you who you are. The world teaches us that love must be wild, passionate, and dramatic, that it has to be madness, lightning, and noise. But old souls know better. Love doesn't need thunder. It needs trust. It doesn't come to blow your life apart, it comes to help you stand tall. Real love is calm, not chaotic. It heals, not hurts. And maybe, on an ordinary day, in a quiet cafe, or in someone's gentle gaze, you'll feel a stillness so deep it almost startles you. Not dizzy, not overwhelmed, just peaceful. And your soul will whisper, this is what I prayed for. True love isn't redemption, it's resonance. It doesn't come to fill your emptiness, but to protect the light you found after the pain. And the miracle is, once you stop chasing love, love starts to find you. Because the universe always mirrors what you believe you deserve. You attract what you believe you deserve. If you think you only deserve half-hearted love, you'll meet those who never stay. But when you believe you deserve clarity, respect, safety, the universe will send souls who carry that same frequency, not to end your loneliness, but to walk with you in the light. Aries, you've grown enough to understand. Love isn't about filling a void. It's about creating a space where both souls are free to be themselves. The right person won't make you question your worth. They'll bring quiet to your storms. The right person will never confuse your spirit. They will bring silence to your storms. Let yourself believe that again. Let your heart open not to chase love, but to receive it as it naturally arrives. This love won't promise you'll never hurt, but it will help you grow stronger every time you do. It will teach you that loving right doesn't make you lose yourself. It brings you closer to your truest essence. And one quiet afternoon, as the sunlight warms your face, you'll finally understand. Love isn't a miracle that comes from someone else. It's the miracle that awakens within you when you're bright enough to recognize your own light, and peaceful enough to let someone else reflect it back without fear of being dimmed. In that moment, the world softens. Old wounds lose their weight. All that remains is the warm breath of gratitude, for you have survived the storm and found yourself again, standing in the light of love that is real. And within that peace, as your heart opens once more, something new begins to rise, a deeper, stronger current of energy calling your name. When a soul has walked through darkness, it never comes out the same. Aries, you once believed that your pain would destroy you. But now, as you look back, you see the truth. Those wounds were only the mold, and God has been reshaping your spirit through them, making you brighter, deeper, and freer than ever before. There is a quiet moment on every healing journey when you no longer cry for the past, no longer feel anger toward anyone, no longer need others to understand. You simply sit still, listening to your own breath, and realize you are still here, not broken, not lost, just reborn. You are no longer the person you once were. The wounds that once terrified you have turned into wings. The empty nights have become fertile soil where wisdom grows. You didn't just survive, you evolved. Your soul has graduated to a higher level of awareness. People often think enlightenment means escaping pain, but it doesn't. Enlightenment is understanding the meaning of pain, because once you understand it, you are free. You begin to see that betrayal wasn't meant to punish you, it came to teach you the difference between love and possession. Loss didn't come to take it, came to make space for what's truly yours. And pain didn't come to destroy it, came to open your heart, to open your perception, to open the doorway to your purpose. Aries, you carry the energy of beginnings, the first flame of the zodiac, the spark of courage and creation. Now that your soul has been reborn, you no longer live only for yourself. Every story, every scar, Every lesson you carry becomes a lantern for those still wandering in the dark. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be real. Because real light spreads naturally even when it shines through shattered glass. The world doesn't need you to shout. It needs your quiet presence, the living proof that healing is real. That a heart, once broken, can beat again softer, wiser, kinder. Now you see life through new eyes, eyes that have cried, and yet can still see grace in everything. You understand that every soul has its own journey, every departure happens right on time, and every arrival carries a message. Spiritual maturity isn't about avoiding the dark, it's about standing in it without letting your inner light go out. You no longer chase miracles, because you've realized you are one. You were never truly shattered, you were being reshaped to fit a greater purpose. You were never broken, you were being reshaped for something divine. Look back on your path, Aries. You've moved from fear to awareness, from loss to peace, and now from peace to purpose. You no longer ask, "Why did this happen to me?" Instead, you whisper, "It happened so I could become who I am today." This rebirth is not an ending. It's the beginning of a new cycle where your soul shines with grace, rooted in acceptance and gratitude. And one quiet afternoon, as sunlight touches your hands, you'll realize there's nothing left to fix, nothing left to hold on to. Everything that ever happened, every heartbreak, every ending has become part of your sacred story. A story not just to tell, but to offer. A beam of light that God now sends through you to guide other souls home. In that moment, you'll understand living gently, truthfully, with kindness and honesty is already a divine purpose. Not everyone dares to live in their own light, but you, a reborn Aries, are doing just that, with a heart tempered by fire and washed clean by tears. Take a deep breath, feel the calm of this moment. Because in this rebirth, gratitude has become your new prayer, the prayer of someone who finally understands that light never disappears. It only changes form, so it can guide other hearts as they too find their way back home. After all, the waves, only still water remains. After every collision with fate, Aries now stands in a gentle light where even the wind passing by sounds like a prayer. You look back on your journey, the people who came and went, the pain you thought you'd never survive, the long nights drenched in tears, and in that stillness, you smile. Because now you understand nothing was meaningless. Every tear watered the seeds of wisdom. Every heartbreak opened a new doorway for your soul. Aries, you give thanks to life, for both its light and its shadows. You thank God for never allowing what wasn't meant for you to stay. You thank the universe for teaching you how to see blessings even inside the storms. And most of all, you thank yourself for being patient, for not giving up, for walking forward even when you couldn't see the road ahead. Thank you for choosing to believe in the light when darkness surrounded you. Thank you for choosing love when it would have been easier to close your heart. Thank you for letting life make you kinder, not colder. Everything you've endured has now become pearls of light within your heart, small lanterns that guide other souls still finding their way. And one day, when someone comes to you carrying the same kind of pain you once carried, you'll know how to smile softly and say, "It will all be okay. Just don't lose faith in yourself." Thank you, my beloved listeners, for walking this path of light with me. Your healing journey inspires this world. And before we close tonight, I send you a gentle blessing. May your heart be safe, your path clear, and your soul guided by truth and peace. Take a slow, deep breath. And know this: from this moment on, you are not just someone who has survived. You are someone living fully in the light of gratitude.